Hey, I just recently discovered this MBTI community on YouTube, and mainly I just wanted to ask some questions because I am having a really difficult time typing myself for sure. Um, I think that I'm INFP. I identify with a lot of what I've read about INFP, but there are a few things about me that are kind of different from a lot of the other INFPs that I've read about and that I've watched videos of. So I was wondering if anyone had any insight. Um, First, some backstory. I guess in high school and in my childhood, I behaved a lot more like an INTJ, and that's what I thought I was for a long time. I I kind of was raised to be logical and rational, and like I watched a lot of Star Trek, which um, glorifies the very scientific outlook on things, and I kind of idealized the whole um, intelligent and cool, calm and collected and logical and rational sort of persona, um, and so I feel like that might have affected my priorities when I was growing up and the way that I tried to behave. Um, but then when I got to college, I became a lot more abstract. I started writing a lot of poetry. I developed this really strong sort of sense of identity and of right and wrong, and I got really interested in social justice and really interested in music. I really like music, and I suspect that part of the reason why I really like music is because it engages the first two, the primary and the auxiliary function of the INFP, which are introverted feeling and extroverted intuition, because I like to listen to music that makes me feel something, um, and it really helps me engage in my emotions. But then I also like music that's kind of experimental, and that's kind of providing a new sort of a new set of stimuli, which is which has to do with extroverted intuition, which is the auxiliary function, and I suspect that's why I like kind of experimental music and finding new music that I can listen to and try and figure out what the patterns are, and what like the structure of the song is, and it kind of engages me on that um, like sort of intellectual level almost, except like in an intuitive way. Um, so so those are some things I really identify with in terms of the INFP type. Also, I watched this YouTube video that describes the um, the INFP's inner mind as this kind of series of caverns, and there's like a bright light in the middle of the cavern, and it's their journey in life is to like find the source of this light and to convey it with with art or with writing or with music, and and that is absolutely true for me. That was something that was so accurate that I was just kind of blown away that someone was saying it in such plain terms, because it's something that's taken me a really long time to find out about myself and like quantify or qualify, I guess, about myself. um so yeah, those are a lot of things that really lead me to believe that I am an INFP. But um just a minute. But there are some other things. Sorry, that was a housemate. um there's some weird quirks that are definitely not very INFP. Like I have my feelings, my emotions oftentimes are a little bit abstract to me, and I don't always know why I'm feeling something, which is definitely like a huge red flag for me not being INFP. Um, like I'll randomly start tearing up, and I'll wonder if it's because I'm sad or not. And I feel like if I were really an INFP, I would know right away what I was feeling and why. Um, and it's almost like there's like the metaphor I use is that there's like kind of a cauldron of emotions inside of me, and I only feel any of them when it starts overflowing. Um, and so I'm unaware of what's in the cauldron until it starts spilling. Um, but the rest of the time they just kind of sit in there. And I was wondering, is this something that I constructed? Like, can I still be, like, am I an INFP with an extremely weird and malfunctioning FI? Um, and I'm also still quite logical. That's the other thing, is that I have like the ability to be very logical, and I feel like a lot of other INFPs don't. Like, I did well with math and science in high school. It's just that I'm not really very interested in them anymore, in a lot of ways. Um, I'm way more artistic now, and I'm way more concerned with like the humanistic weight of something, and like the human condition, um, and and so it's really confusing, because I feel like there's those two sort of dueling forces almost. And so, yeah, I'm just wondering if any of this, if I'm maybe looking in the wrong place. Maybe I'm not an INFP at all. I thought, well, maybe I'm an INFJ, because those two are confused a lot. But the thing is, the INFJ has a really prominent extroverted feeling function, which I'm really uncomfortable with. Like when I need to console someone, or like make someone feel better, that makes me really uncomfortable. And I'm not super aware of like the emotions in a room or anything. I'm mostly just aware of myself. Like, I have a very strong sense of identity, which is also an INFP thing. And like in terms of careers, like I really want to be doing something that is helping people and that I believe is important, which is a huge INFP thing. It's just that that emotional thing. It's like I'm an INFP with a totally malfunctioning or quirky FI. And so like I don't think I'm an INFJ because I'm not good at the extroverted emotions, the extroverted feeling. And then like so like here's my thought process. I know that I'm introverted. I know that I'm pretty sure I'm intuitive. Like, I'm not incredibly concrete about anything really. And then I think that I'm feeling, because I kind of value that more, I think, than thinking. And I sort of look at things from a humanistic perspective, and then like I think that I'm perceiving and not judging, because if I were judging, then I would have the extroverted feeling function, which I don't think I have. So that leads me to think that I'm INFP, which to a large degree I really, really identify with, but I never really get trapped in the FI hell is the other thing. Like I see all these videos on YouTube of INFPs who are just really, really sad, and I'm not like that really. Sometimes I am. I think there's a sort of glory in and beauty in sadness, and I love really, like listening to sad music and kind of just like letting myself be sad sometimes, but it's not necessarily because I can't not be sad, or maybe it is. I don't know. Like I feel like I don't have a super acute sense of what I'm feeling. I also don't cry ever. I don't remember the last time I cried. I suspect maybe listening to music is how I cry. And so that also makes me wonder, like maybe I learned to suppress my FI when I was a child due to some reason, and maybe like listening to sad music was my way of trying to get around that block that I placed in myself. So maybe like I just have this weird like cloud that I constructed that's just floating in the middle of my FI. So yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now, because I think I mainly said everything I wanted to say. But if you have any insight, please tell me. I'm sorry. I feel really selfish, like uploading a video not to contribute but to ask for an analysis. But it seems like there are so many people on YouTube who are interested in this. I thought I would give it a shot. And who knows, maybe I'm just like a weird kind of INFP and there are other people like me, or maybe I'm just not. Um, so, so yeah, thanks for watching. I leave a comment.